Hi, it's Alexis Little Boy here, the otherwise known as the Enchanted Empress. I was hoping to get a few people on to have a bit of a chat, but I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay, first time using this. And I can always delete the video. Okay, I'll just get started anyway. Okay, so I've told you who I am. I say a lot. So 5 things you don't know about me yet. I love to talk, especially when I get into a subject I adore, which basically is spirituality, children, because I have children, but I do love them and adore them. Anyway, so that's that. I'm married. That's 2 things you might not know. 3 things is I love belly dancing, and I still have been too chicken to put a video up. Yeah, we'll see about that. So that's 3. 4 things is I'm a homebody, but I love to talk to people. So I absolutely adore being at home. It's my safe space, but I also really love connecting with people and talking, and as you can tell, I love to talk. And 5, I started off as a witch. Anyway, I'm being silly now. But yes, when I was a teenager, I got into a lot of crafty stuff and spells and things like that. Very cool. I've changed since then, but it was the start of my spiritual journey. So, hey. Okay, so tuning into intuition. I'm going to go through what intuition is itself. Now, the dictionary definition I have is a noun, direct perception of truth. It's a fact or truth perceived in this way. A keen and quick insight, the quality or ability of having such direct perception or quick insight. And philosophy, an immediate cognition of an object not inferred or determined by a previous cognition of the same object. So basically getting information that otherwise you would have had no idea how to get, and somehow finding the answers within you. So that's what other people will say intuition is. I say you need to find out what that means to you first. Everyone has their own interpretation and their own truth. So one other definition I had was your intuition. Oh, hold on, I wrote this. Your intuition taps into the collective consciousness and has more information available than the mind itself. The mind accesses only a small part of available information and is thus less well equipped to promote good decisions. I don't know if I did write that or not, so I'll just say I'm not sure about that. Yeah, anyway, so what intuition is to me is when I come to decision making and I find I don't maybe have all the facts, I'm not sure what to do. Take a deep breath in, I focus inward, and intuition comes from the heart. So for me, it's a feeling I get in my body. I had the term your body is your barometer, so it will feel, which way. And then I came across a book the other day it had that phrase in the, I'm like, that is so cool. Anyway, that's a story. So when it comes to feeling whether something is right for you or not, and it's always your truth, not necessarily anyone else's, I feel heaviness if it's not right for me. So if I'm about to make a decision and you've got two maybe distinct pathways to go, if one feels heavy, and I mean you're looking at it and it just doesn't feel right, it just feels icky, then that's obviously not right for you. And if the other one feels light and fluffy and kind of has this really good feeling to it, as you can tell, I'm probably a feeling emotional creature here, then that one's the right path for you. Sometimes it's not as clear cut as that, and you need to dig a little bit deeper. But for me, that's how I work on like whether it feels good. And my body will tell me if something's not right. So sometimes you don't have those clear-cut decisions. There might be more than two pathways. And you have to kind of do like a multiple choice. So that's about intuition and how you can tune into it. There's a variety of different ways. As long as there's people on this earth, there's different ways of doing it. So find what works for you. I'm only going to touch on that briefly, how to do it. So that for me is using my body. Another way is using your body still, but there's a kinesiology, in kinesiology, which I have not done, but I was taught some muscle testing. And one is you stand up straight, which I'll probably show you. All right, so you're standing up straight and I'll cut off my head. Okay, okay, so you stand up straight and you have your feet in line with your hips, feet turned forwards, and you think or say the phrase that you need a yes or no. It needs to be a yes or a no kind of question, so a closed question. So the answer, what's the question? Will I walk the children to school tomorrow? And the answer is no. So my body is going to tell me, I can still change that, but it's going to go with where the energy is most at the moment. What's another example? Okay, will I win Lotto tomorrow night? No. So you'll get a whole feeling of if your body is, now you need to check this yourself with a question you already know the answer to, as to whether it's yes or no for you. But if it's yes, your body's leaning towards it, and it's like your whole body's going, yes, I want it. And so for you, that would be like, yes, that is the answer to your question. If it's a no, your body will be like, oh, no, we don't want to go there. That's not going to happen. And it's trying to pull you back from it. That's how I believe it is. Who have we got down there? Jodie, hi. Did that come across? I got no idea. All right, so where was I? So intuition. So that's a couple of ways you can tune in. Another thing, like some people might go, oh, I don't know how to do that. Everyone has it. They were born with it. And as they get older and through their childhood and their conditioning, a lot of people have conflicting messages. So when you're a child and your mummy, you know, your mum looks upset and you go and say, Mummy, what's wrong? And she said, oh, it's fine, honey, I'm fine, you know. The child's picking up on the emotion of there's something wrong, and yet they're getting the verbal cue from their mother as to, no, everything's fine. So you have this conflicting information, and as you get older, people don't tell the truth. It's simple as that, especially if you're trying to project a particular persona into the world. You want everyone to think it's all light and fluffy and, you know, your life's great, yes, having a fabulous day, and most people are lying through their teeth. They just are not honest about it. And you think, okay, it's the little things. It's like, oh, it's only a white lie. But to a child, they don't know the difference between a white lie and a great big whooping lie. So that is just why the whole point of that is everybody has access to their intuition. A lot of people have repressed it, suppressed it, or they just don't think they have it because they grew up not believing they had it. So belief came into it. So a few ways you can unlock that is to do belief work or clearing your beliefs. You're also starting to do trust exercises with yourself, so you learn to trust yourself again. There's many ways of doing that, but basically everybody has access to it. And if you think, you know, you start tuning in or you start trying to do it and think, I'm not getting it right, it takes practice. It's like any muscle. You think about a muscle, if you haven't used it for a long time or it hasn't been well used, then it stagnates, it atrophies, and you know, it doesn't work properly. So you just have to practice. There's exercises for that. I'm not going into that tonight. This is just a very brief hello. Okay, so what else have we got? Why is it important to your journey? Okay, well, if you were going to take one path in life, okay, you have many paths in life. One is rosy, happy, filled with joy, and it's just a beautiful path. So we're walking along this beautiful forest path, and the sun is shining, the flowers are out, the bees are buzzing, and the birds are singing. Then you have this other path. It's a bit rockier. It's not perfect, but you know, it's a little bit not so cheery. And then you have multiple other paths, but you can see a couple of distinct ones. The happy, joyful one, the light and fluffy, awesome. But sometimes getting to that place takes a lot more trust and faith. And then the other one, excuse me, is a lot more, it seems harder, and it's just, you know, it's a struggle, and everything is just so hard work. And it all comes down to what you believe. Do you believe this is the path that you're going to go down, or do you believe in the light and fluffy one, which I like? And as you're going along these paths, every time you come to a fork in the road, and you know those points in time, you get this feeling, you understand that change is in the air, which there's always changes around, but sometimes there's those momentous changes, and it's, you know, it could take you either way. That's when your intuition comes into play. And this is when you need to tune in and go, well, what do I actually want, and how can I get it? And then start making choices from a place of, this is what I desire, this is what I deserve, and not from, this is what everyone else believes that I should be doing, this is what society believes I should do. You know, all those shoulds, throw them out the window. You don't have to do that. And what you can do is follow yourself, your truth, down the path that you believe you deserve. If you deserve the rocky road, if that's what you believe, then that's what you will follow. If you believe that you like the beautiful, you know, forest glen that is just lush and beautiful to walk along, then that's where you will start making choices and go along that path. But you need to tune into yourself and learn to trust yourself to do that. So with intuition, it also, there's a lot of components to accessing that, and it's why not everyone has that strong, you know, intuitive drive. So part of it is trusting yourself and trusting in the universe, because sometimes shitty things happen, but there might be a lesson to it. There might be something even better that you couldn't even imagine. And if you just trust that everything's going to work out, for me, I truly believe it, and things just turn around. And it's things that you couldn't imagine. You just totally out of your, because like we're all little tunnel vision people, and some people their tunnel's a little bit wider, but when you let go of that and trust that things are going to be okay, then miraculous things can happen. Things that just boom, boom, boom come in. So I've wandered off topic a little bit, but that's okay. That's why it's important to practice. So a few ways you can do that. I will give some tips on that because we have plenty of time. I might be wrapping up in 12 minutes though, because I can. Okay, tuning in. So a couple of ways you can do that is play. P-L-A-Y, play. We know that word. If you have not done it for a while, you need to go do it. And I can tell you from experience, when I stopped thinking that I had to work, I had to go and do work stuff, I had to make it hard for myself. When I started playing, amazing things just happened. I started writing more. Things just started falling into my head, as in like just thoughts that if I had not asked a question, they wouldn't have come. And if I thought it was going to be hard, then it was going to be hard. So really, your intuition comes into, it's only a part of your journey. Yeah, that's that part. Okay, so playing is one. Laughing, like just enjoying yourself every single day. Stop focusing on the past. Stop focusing on the future, because I believe the past is, you know, if you're looking at the past, you're depressed because you think, oh, I could have changed that, blah, blah, blah. If you're looking at the future, then you're anxious because you're trying to get there, but your body's like, hey, we're in the present. And your body has those physical symptoms and you're like, I want to get there, but you're here now. So there's no alignment. You're kind of trying to be in two different places and it doesn't work. Meditation. I will be honest, I am not a very big meditator. It's supposed to be the big thing. I really do enjoy it, but it's not, I don't do hours at a time. I'm lucky if I do 5 minutes sometimes because it's something I'm working on. But it does really help with clarity and getting to know yourself, because when you stop and take that time, you're breathing, thoughts will start popping in your head. And that's when you become aware, and the awareness brings up, you know, old beliefs, thoughts that, you know, maybe are yours, maybe not. And you can start to do some inner work. So, you know, just clearing old beliefs and thoughts, negative patterns, all that stuff. And listening, like just stopping. Stop, take a moment. Like life can be very chaotic. It can feel overwhelming sometimes. You know, it's very busy. You're doing this, you got to be that. But there's so many different roles. But when you just stop, take a deep breath, let it out, and listen. Because it's the silence that has the answers sometimes, most of the time actually. You won't always get the answers from talking. There are messages everywhere. I truly believe sometimes you can talk to someone and they give you this idea, or you'll hear a conversation, or, you know, I'm a big believer in, I've connected with so many amazing people that are on the same wavelength as me. I feel like I'm repeating stuff, but it's amazing. And when I've listened, I've gotten thoughts in my head, and they're not necessarily my thoughts. Maybe they are. They're coming from my higher self or somewhere in the universe. All I know is when I stop and I listen and I just start to tune back in, it's like getting back into alignment, into harmony with yourself. And for me, it feels like I'm constantly getting back there, because everyday life tends to whack me out a bit. But then I have all these tools, and we all pick up tools to cope or to, you know, better live our lives. But really listening, big. Once you start to listen, and I can't emphasize that enough. That's one of the biggest, okay, so many big things, but play, listen, be aware, be present. To listen, you need to be present, and to be present, you need to be grounded. If you're off with the fairies, which I am very good at, a friend of mine, she likes to call herself a space cadet, or she's been called that. And it's basically when we're here in a physical body, but we want to be somewhere else. We like being up there. We like, you know, wherever we're visiting, you know, astral traveling or whatever they're doing, they're off playing. And that's fine. But when you're having this physical experience and you need to be present, you need to be here, you know, for your children, for your work, or whatever it is you're doing, you need to be here and committed to being present 100%. I'm not here 100% of the time. It's something I work on daily. But when you're aware that you need to be present, and you can pick up the cues of when you're not grounded, and that's usually I'm scattered or unfocused, I can't do anything, I'm just all hazy, and there's that lack of clarity. It's because part of me is off visiting wherever else or just not here, and then this physical body left behind, and it's trying to function, and there's not 100% of me here to help it function. So grounded, present, all of that. What else? Ooh, automatic writing. I discovered this a few years ago, and I have not yet really, I've started doing more of it, but I thought it was a bit like, oh, the channeling, but it's through writing. And I thought, oh. Then I started channeling, I think last year. I went, this is really cool. And then I started writing. And the things that I'm writing are not, there's no way that I had that knowledge. Then again, maybe I could have. But the point of the matter, is we are all connected. So we all have access to everything because we're all energy. But sometimes there's like a different energy or dimension or whatever it is, and you get access to that information through channeling. And then again, if it's through the universe, you think everything's connected. Is that really a different level? Is that a different dimension? I don't know. It's all up for, you know, make out of it what you will. Where was I going? Oh yeah, so automatic writing. Definitely, if you want to have a go at it, there are ways of doing it. I personally ask a question, just do some breathing, allow the question to just let it go, and then write whatever comes to mind. That's answering it. I did some today, and then I got more and more and more information, and then it wasn't necessarily that particular question, it just continued on. I went, oh, okay, cool. So, excuse me, it can open up the doorway and allow you to become a clearer channel. Not everyone's interested in that, but I am, so I'll share that. Surrender overthinking. That's a big one. If you want to listen to your intuition, you got to get your mind out of the way. So one example of that is say a new job opportunity. Gone through all these interviews and you're thinking really positive about it, but you keep thinking about it, and yet you're stressing about it and like thinking, oh, what are you going to do when you have the money? Or, you know, just really kind of got your hands around it and not letting it go. You can't really do it. The universe can't really help you if you've got your hands on it, you put the order in, and it can't do anything because you've got it a certain way. It's fixed in your mind, and the reality might be slightly different. So this is where you need to surrender. Stop thinking about it. Let it go. And that's a message for my husband. Anyway, he won't watch this, so it's all good. Journaling, so any kind of expression. When you, basically intuition is part of your soul, part of your heart. Whatever it is that you think it is, it's about speaking from the heart and coming from a place that isn't all about the ego and the mind and overthinking things and just thinking this is how reality should look or how it is, and that's it. When you come from the heart can see things in amazing, wondrous ways. And there are no boundaries, because the energy, the love that comes from your heart is phenomenal. So that's why coming from your heart, tuning into your intuition is like the best way to live your life. I will say it takes practice, and not everyone is, what's the word, interested in doing that. So, but journaling is a really good way of expressing yourself, because when you can get really honest with yourself and not lie, it's the lies that get in the way that really, it stops you from being able to be your true self. I know there's a lot of authentic and true and all that, but I'm just telling you the way how I speak, which sometimes I mix my words up. But from the heart, seriously, journaling, express yourself, get it out. If you've got to write a letter to somebody that's hurt you, you don't have to send it, but you can burn it. But the actual physical expression, like for me, I've written heaps of letters to people that have hurt me in some way, or I've hurt, or, you know, there's just this, can't even think of the word. But anyway, there's been pain and hurt and anger and all that. As soon as I write it out, I actually feel a physical lightness. I feel lighter. I feel better. And then I burn it, because most people don't need, it either doesn't affect them or it really has nothing to do with them. It's more about my stuff. So also on an energetic level, they're probably aware of it. And I will guarantee if they tune in, they would be aware. Or, you know, there's just so much about energy. Anyway, next thing. Oh, yeah, you can get guidance in your dreams. I think I started to go a bit off topic, because it's supposed to be about intuition and I'm going to dream stuff. So I'm a little bit scattered sometimes. Asking a question and waiting for the answer. So sometimes if you're in a particular place where you can ask a question, you'll get a yes or a no straight away. I like the physical, like the muscle testing as well. Sometimes it's confirmation, but generally if I get a yes or a no, I go straight with it. Whether if I think about it too long, I can make the answer yes or no, however I actually want it to be. But if I just ask the question, the first answer, so the first yes or no I get, that is what I need. And generally, I would say that's pretty accurate. I mean, it's got me to where I am now, which is saying hello to you. So I'm really excited tonight. So anyway, that's pretty much it. So you need to be grounded, present, relaxed. When your body holds tension and like you're all kind of, you know, your body's actually storing emotion, you haven't expressed it, you're kind of holding it all in, how can you access your intuition? Because it's like you've got all these layers around your heart. If you're holding stuff in, it's like the heart's actually cocooned from you, and it's not separate, but it's just not as easy to access. This is my belief. Take with it, you know, whatever you like. exercise is really good. When you exercise, it's like you got all these lovely endorphins, you know, your body's just pumping, you've got adrenaline. There's no time for thinking. Most people will either have an audio or music, but if you have nothing and you just listen, if you're outdoors in nature, listen to the birds, notice your surroundings, you'll get messages from wherever you are. And also just the silence. There's so much power in silence. Now, this is coming from someone who loves to talk. So when you can just stop and allow your mind to have a rest, the exercise actually helps you do that because your body's moving and you're focused on that, but you're not necessarily thinking about anything. So that's also a good way. A couple of other really good ideas is to declutter everything. So if your house is messy, like mine is, I have things, as you can see, everywhere. It's actually pretty neat at the moment, this office, but the rest of the house. Anyway, it feels better, and I feel so much better when my house is clean, when there's not crap everywhere, the toys are put away, the kids' beds are made, the washing's all up to date. I get excited because I feel great. And when there's dishes and, you know, so much stuff, I don't feel so good. So also that's where your body comes into consideration, or it should be anyway, because you're living in it, is you're living in your body. Your reality, your environment reflects what's happening within you. So if there's all this clutter hanging around you and you can never seem to get a clear space like me, then it can reflect the state of your mind. And it just really, it's like it goes both ways. When you work on your mindset and all your internal stuff, it helps with actually getting focused on cleaning the house. And when you clean the house and declutter and, you know, get it all nice and organized, it also reflects back because it helps you to get more clarity and focus. So it works both ways. Is that? So yes, that is basically it. I don't feel like telling you anymore because I'm probably sick of my voice by now. And I'm really excited because this is my first. So it's okay. Did you want to talk to me, Jody? Oh no.
Can I talk to you? I don't know if it even works.
Yes, you can.
No, there was nothing in particular. Maybe one thing, you talk about grounding. How do you ground yourself?
Okay. There are, sorry. I'm losing connection. Okay, so you want to know about grounding. Is that correct?
Going. Yeah, I was just wondering how you do that. What's your favourite way of doing that?
Yeah. Okay. The best way that I do it, there are a couple of ways I do it actually. My simplest, most basic, effective way is imagining these massive tree roots coming out of my feet and digging them right into Mother Earth. I absolutely adore trees. I love them. They're like my favorite thing out in nature. I love nature, but I'm a bit slacker in getting out there. But basically imagining those roots coming down, coming through your feet and anchoring you right until you actually connect with Mother Earth's heart and you actually feel this beautiful unconditional love coming up from her heart. And if you imagine it or see it coming up from her heart all the way up your body into your heart and feel that connection, that really grounds you. And you can stay in that energy for quite a long, I can stay in that for quite a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's quite sustaining.
Yeah. And it's also really, it's like nourishing as well.
The what? I just lost you.
Yeah, am I back?
Yeah.
Okay. I find also if I'm low on energy and I'm just feeling a bit blah, I can actually, I feel like I get an energy boost when I do that connecting in, because it's like,
yeah.
I think part of me is actually off doing God knows what, floating around, and my body's struggling to kind of keep going, and it's working really, really hard, and so my body gets tired. It needs a bit of an energy boost, and the trees are, there's like this massive connection. They're all connected. They're part of this network, and when you can tap into that, they will, you know, you can just ask them, would you please, you know, give me a little bit of energy. You don't even have to ask.
Yeah.
They are so generous. They just share it. And it's that connection that really, it inspires me, because we're all energy. We all have access to this network. We all have access to everything. And it blows me away when I think also, like, I can talk to someone all the way across in England or America through this thing called internet, and it's the same principle that the trees have, and it's not a unique thing. It's everywhere. It's just until we actually stop and look at it, go, holy smoke! Oh, like, it's amazing. So that is my favorite way of grounding. Another way is actually beautiful golden light from source coming down. It's also a clearing, aligning, and harmonizing energy I use. And it's just a golden light. It's like a column of light. You're connected from source right through you down to Mother Earth. And in that one visualization, you're connected to all of them. You're connected to everything, just with that column. But you're also really fully present on Earth, but you also have that connection to source, or universe, or whatever you want to call it.
Whatever.
Yeah. So, any other questions?
Nice. And trusting that initial thought, isn't it? I think when we, like you said, when you overthink it, that's when you doubt it. Your physical self comes in, and intuition is then really hard to listen to, because it's almost like the waters get muddied.
Yeah, so that's why practice comes in handy, really handy.
Yeah.
For me, it's taken me a long time to get to this point where I can say, hey, this is what I do. I actually do this every day. It's not something I just learned about 5 seconds ago and I'm a master of it. I wouldn't say I master it now, because there's days that I either don't do like my protection and grounding, and then I wonder why I'm a bit floaty. And then and then there's times where I don't listen. I don't do that awareness. I'm not present. I'm, you know, doing this and that and multitasking and doing what everyone else thinks I should be doing. And when my body's actually screaming at me to say, hey, we need a rest. Hey, let's just stop for a minute. And your intuition's going, come on, listen up. And like everything is connected. Like your body, your intuition comes from your heart, which your heart, it belongs in your body, but it's also on the energetic level as well. And if you don't listen to it, if you get to a point where your body is constantly screaming and saying, hey, that's when you start to create problems. And that's when it goes into, you know, defensive mode or protective mode, and you start having issues where you'd never had issues before, or you start thinking, oh, I'm listening to my intuition, but you've forgotten what it sounded like. You've forgotten because you haven't been practicing. And you have to really go back to basics and start doing little exercises every day if you want to build it, because it's a muscle. So you do little bits of exercise. You don't start out big and massive and think, I'm just going to get this all in one go. You think, okay, what's one little thing I can just do every day, and then build on it. I keep losing you.
Oh, yeah, it keeps going. It keeps cutting out.
Well, I hope it comes out all right when I stop the broadcast.
It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, because my picture screen of you has been frozen nearly the whole time.
Yeah, and I've got a blank screen for you. And you keep freezing on me.
Yeah. And I can only hear you sometimes.
Yeah.
But
All
it
right.
was really, it's getting,
All right. I cannot really hear you now, darling. But
yes.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to stop now because I've got no idea what I'm doing here. Actually, I do.
Thank you. You do. You know exactly what you're doing.
I do. I'm just so, I feel like a little kid in that, like a lolly shop going around and very exciting. So thank you for
You found a new toy.
I did.
Thank you.
And I will talk to you soon. And thank you everyone who does watch this. Thank you for bearing with me. And I hope you had as much fun as I let go of a bit of control. So I hope you had fun because I did have fun. So thank you. Bye.
I did too. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.